The quantum communications array at SETI's Mauna Kea facility had never registered anything like this before. Dr. Sarah Chen sat frozen in her chair, staring at the pattern of signals cascading across her holographic display. After 15 years of scanning the stars for signs of intelligent life, they'd finally found something. But it wasn't a greeting or a beacon, it was a scream. The signal pulsed with an urgent rhythm that made her teeth ache. As a professor of xenolinguistics, Sarah had spent her career theorizing about how alien civilizations might communicate. Nothing in her research had prepared her for this. The pattern suggested not just intelligence, but panic. Within hours, the world's major observatories confirmed they were picking up the same transmission. As Sarah worked to decode it, strange ships appeared in Earth's orbit. The Galactic Alliance had arrived, and they were just as concerned about the signal as humanity was. First contact happened in the middle of a crisis. The Alliance's massive ships dwarfed humanity's orbital stations, their hulls gleaming with technology centuries beyond Earth's capabilities. But when their representatives teleported directly into the UN Security Council chamber, they didn't come as conquerors. They came seeking help. "Your planet is the first to detect and begin decoding the signal," announced Ambassador Zixtal, their crystalline form refracting light across the chamber. "We've been tracking it for months as it spreads across the galaxy, but our best cryptographers can't decipher its meaning. Something about human brains allows you to perceive patterns we cannot." Sarah found herself quickly promoted from professor to humanity's lead representative in a joint task force. The Alliance provided her with access to their quantum computers and vast databases of known alien languages. But as she studied the signal more closely, she realized why their advanced AI systems had failed to crack it. "It's not a language," she explained to the assembled alien scientists. "It's music." The signal contained mathematical patterns similar to Earth's classical compositions, but with impossible complexity. Hidden within its harmonies were coordinates, warnings, and something else. Something that made Sarah's blood run cold when she began to understand it. The Galactic Alliance had never encountered anything like human music. Their species had developed mathematics, physics, and incredible technologies, but none had created art quite like humanity's. The signal's creator had encoded their message in a way that only a species that had mastered both mathematics and music could comprehend. As Sarah worked to fully decode the transmission, more ships arrived in the solar system. The signal was spreading, growing stronger, and every advanced civilization in the galaxy was starting to realize that humanity, one of the youngest spacefaring races, might be their only hope of understanding what was coming. In her quiet moments between briefings and decoding sessions, Sarah couldn't help but laugh at the irony. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for centuries, imagining that advanced aliens would either destroy them or elevate them to the stars. Instead, they had arrived because humans could do something their vast civilization could not. They could hear the music and the mathematics of the universe. The signal's strength increased daily. Whatever warning it contained couldn't wait much longer to be understood. Sarah gathered her team of linguists, musicians, and mathematicians. Together, they would need to decode the greatest and most important piece of music humanity had ever encountered, before it was too late. As the first month of first contact drew to a close, Sarah made her first major breakthrough. The signal wasn't just a warning. It was instructions. Instructions for preventing something that had destroyed civilizations before. But understanding the message was only the beginning. The real challenge would be convincing the Galactic Alliance to trust humanity's interpretation of a signal they couldn't even properly perceive. The fate of multiple civilizations now rested on humanity's unique ability to find melody in mathematics and meaning in music. Sarah just hoped they could solve the puzzle before whatever the signal was warning about arrived. The Alliance's central research facility orbiting Jupiter was a marvel of engineering, its spiral architecture housing the most advanced laboratories in known space. But in Sarah Chen's temporary quarters, the only technology she used was a simple Earth-made piano synthesizer. Her alien colleagues had watched with confusion as she requested it be brought up from Earth, not understanding how such a primitive instrument could help decode a signal threatening galactic civilization. "The pattern repeats here," Sarah explained to Ambassador Zixtal, her fingers dancing across the keys. "But it's not just repeating. It's building, like a fugue." The crystalline alien tilted their form, light refracting through their body in patterns that Sarah had learned indicated deep thought. The holographic display above the piano showed the signal's waveform, its complexity now mapped across multiple dimensions. What had started as a simple transmission had evolved into something far more intricate. Sarah had discovered that the signal wasn't just carrying information. It was adapting, learning from each civilization it encountered. "Watch this," she said, playing a complex sequence of notes. The signal's pattern shifted in response, its harmonics aligning perfectly with her music. It's not just mathematics. It's a conversation. The signal wants us to understand it. The breakthrough came during the third week of their research. Dr. Kenzo Yamamoto, a quantum physicist from Sarah's team, noticed something extraordinary in the signal's subharmonics. "The pattern isn't just musical," he announced during an emergency briefing. "It's describing quantum entanglement on a galactic scale." Sarah and her team had discovered that the signal was a warning about the fabric of space-time itself. Somewhere in the galaxy, an ancient civilization had discovered that reality was fraying. The signal was their last attempt to save everyone, encoded in a way that only a species with humanity's unique combination of skills could understand. The Galactic Alliance's highest council convened in the Jupiter facility. Representatives from 3,000 civilizations, some appearing as holograms from across the galaxy, gathered to hear humanity's findings. Sarah stood before them, no longer feeling small in their presence. "The signal is showing us that space-time is like a piece of music," she explained, her voice steady. "Just as a wrong note can disrupt a symphony, there are points in our galaxy where reality itself is becoming disharmonious. The ancient civilization that sent this signal found a way to detect these disruptions and possibly repair them." As she spoke, the signal's pattern display behind her shifted into a three-dimensional musical score. The alien council watched in amazement as human musicians began to play along with it, their instruments synchronizing with the cosmic melody. With each note, new layers of the message revealed themselves. They encoded the solution in music because they knew that only a species that understood both the mathematics of the universe and the artistry of creation could prevent the collapse. Sarah continued, "The signal isn't just a warning. It's a key to repairing the quantum fabric of space-time itself." But there was a catch. The solution required something that the Alliance's advanced civilization had engineered out of their society centuries ago: improvisation. The cosmic repairs needed not just precise calculations, but creative adaptation. The signal's creators had understood that only a younger civilization, one that still embraced both chaos and order, could implement their solution. The Alliance Council erupted in debate. Many couldn't accept that their advanced technology might be insufficient, that the solution required human creativity. Others argued that they had no choice. The signal's increasing strength suggested that time was running out. Sarah watched the debate with growing concern. The signal's creators had left them the tools to save the galaxy, but first, she would have to convince the most powerful civilization in known space to trust in humanity's ability to improvise with the fundamental forces of the universe. As if sensing her thoughts, the signal's melody changed again, becoming more urgent. Through the facility's windows, Sarah could see Jupiter's great red spot, its eternal storm, a reminder that even chaos could be beautiful. They would need that perspective for what was coming next, because saving reality itself would require humanity to perform the greatest act of musical improvisation in history. The first tear in space-time appeared near Alpha Centauri. Through the Alliance's quantum telescopes, it looked like a dark note in the cosmic symphony, a place where the mathematics of existence itself had gone wrong. Sarah Chen and her team watched from the Jupiter facility as the tear slowly expanded, distorting the light of nearby stars. Dr. Yamamoto had been right about the quantum entanglement. The tear wasn't just a local phenomenon. It was connected to others appearing across the galaxy, like discord spreading through a universal song. The Alliance's most powerful computers worked ceaselessly to calculate the pattern of degradation, but they could only predict disaster, not prevent it. It's like watching a symphony fall apart, Sarah explained to the Emergency Council. Each tear is like an instrument going out of tune. If we don't find a way to restore harmony, the entire performance, our entire reality, will collapse. The human team had grown. Musicians, mathematicians, and physicists from Earth worked alongside the Alliance's scientists, bringing perspectives that the advanced civilization had never considered. They approached the problem not as a purely mathematical challenge, but as an artistic one. Maria Torres, a composer from Barcelona, made the next breakthrough. She had been studying the signal's harmonic patterns when she noticed something the Alliance's computers had missed. "The tears aren't random," she announced. "They're following Earth's musical scales, but across 11 dimensions." The revelation changed everything. The signal wasn't just warning them about the tears. It was showing them how to understand them. Just as a musician could hear when an instrument was out of tune, humanity could perceive when reality itself was becoming discordant. Sarah and her team worked to translate this understanding into something the Alliance could use. They created a new mathematical framework that merged human music theory with quantum mechanics. The Alliance scientists were stunned to discover that this hybrid approach predicted the tear's behavior with perfect accuracy. "Your species sees patterns we cannot," Ambassador Zixtal admitted. "We evolved beyond the need for music, seeing it as an inefficient form of communication. We never imagined it could be essential to understanding the universe itself." But understanding the tears wasn't enough. They needed to find a way to repair them. The signal's creators had left instructions, but they were unlike anything the Alliance had encountered. Instead of precise technological specifications, they were more like musical scores for reality itself. "We need to play the universe back into tune," Sarah explained. "The tears are like wrong notes in space-time. If we can perform the right cosmic symphony, we can restore harmony to reality." The plan seemed impossible. It would require converting the Alliance's most powerful energy projectors into something akin to musical instruments, capable of manipulating quantum fields with the precision of a violin string. Even more challenging, it would require performers who could improvise at a quantum level, adapting to the constantly changing pattern of tears. The Alliance Council was skeptical. Their civilization had achieved its power through precise control and elimination of variables. The idea of improvising with the fundamental forces of the universe seemed not just dangerous, but contrary to everything they believed about scientific progress. But as more tears appeared, as more star systems faced the risk of quantum dissolution, they began to accept that their traditional approaches weren't enough. The signal's creators had known that only a species that still embraced both precision and creativity, both mathematics and music, could implement their solution. Sarah worked with Alliance engineers to modify their energy projectors, teaching them how to make technology that could sing to the quantum fabric of space. Human musicians began training with alien scientists, learning to translate their artistic instincts into cosmic-scale operations. The fate of the galaxy would rest not on superior technology or advanced civilizations, but on humanity's ability to find harmony in chaos, to improvise with the music of reality itself. As Sarah watched her team prepare for what would be the most important performance in history, she realized that the signal's creators had known something profound about the nature of existence, that sometimes salvation requires not just knowledge, but art. As the quantum tears spread across the galaxy, the Jupiter facility transformed into an unprecedented fusion of concert hall and scientific laboratory. Alliance engineers had modified their energy projectors according to human specifications, creating what Sarah Chen's team called the Cosmic Orchestra, a network of devices capable of manipulating quantum fields through principles derived from music theory. But their first attempts at closing a tear were disastrous. The Alliance's precise, programmed approaches created more discord than harmony. The tiers responded to their interventions by growing larger, as if reality itself was rejecting their rigid mathematics. It was Maya Patel, a jazz pianist from New Delhi, who identified the fundamental problem. "We're trying to play classical music to quantum mechanics," she said during an emergency session. "But quantum reality is more like jazz. It's about probabilities, uncertainties, and possibilities. We need to improvise." The concept of improvisation terrified the Alliance scientists. Their civilization had spent millennia eliminating uncertainties from their equations. The idea of approaching a scientific crisis with artistic spontaneity seemed like madness, but the tiers continued to spread, and their conventional methods kept failing. Sarah worked with Maya to develop a new approach. They began teaching Alliance operators to think like jazz musicians, to feel the quantum harmonies and respond intuitively to changes in the cosmic frequencies. It was like teaching a supercomputer to dance, precise yet fluid, structured yet spontaneous. The breakthrough came during their 7th attempt to close a tier. Maya sat at a modified piano connected to the quantum field manipulators, while Alliance operators monitored the energy flows. Instead of following a predetermined sequence, she began to play in response to the tier's own frequencies, letting her musical instincts guide her through the quantum harmonies. For the first time, the tier began to shrink. The discord in spacetime started resolving itself, following the improvisational patterns of Maya's music. The Alliance observers watched in amazement as human artistic intuition succeeded where their advanced calculations had failed. "It's not about forcing reality to follow our rules," Sarah explained to the Galactic Council. "It's about listening to the universe's own music and joining its dance. The tiers aren't errors to be corrected. They're parts of a cosmic composition that needs to be brought back into harmony." The success led to a radical reorganization of their efforts. The Alliance's massive computers were reprogrammed to follow musical principles rather than pure mathematics. Human musicians were paired with alien scientists, teaching them to trust their intuition alongside their calculations. But as they prepared to tackle the larger tiers threatening populated systems, a new challenge emerged. The quantum discord was evolving, becoming more complex. Single performers, no matter how skilled, couldn't match its intricacy. They would need something more, a way to coordinate improvisation on a galactic scale. Sarah found herself thinking about Earth's great orchestras, how dozens of musicians could move as one while each maintaining their individual artistry. The solution would require the same balance, the precision of Alliance technology guided by the collective creativity of human performers. They began constructing what they called the Quantum Harmony Network, connecting modified energy projectors across thousands of light years. Each would be operated by a team of human musicians and Alliance scientists, working together to heal the fabric of space-time. The logistics were staggering. Coordinating improvised performances across interstellar distances challenged both human creativity and alien technology. But as they prepared for their greatest attempt yet, Sarah realized that this crisis had forced two very different approaches to understanding the universe to become something greater than either could be alone. The Alliance had provided the technological framework, the ability to reach across space and touch the quantum fabric of reality. But humanity had provided something equally crucial, the understanding that sometimes the most profound truths of existence couldn't be calculated, only felt and expressed through art. As the first synchronized test of the Quantum Harmony Network approached, Sarah watched human musicians and Alliance scientists working side by side, each learning from the other. They were about to attempt the largest coordinated improvisation in history, a performance that would either save reality or prove that even the combination of human creativity and alien technology wasn't enough to prevent the collapse of space-time itself. The day of the great performance arrived with both hope and trepidation. Across the galaxy, thousands of modified energy projectors stood ready, each connected to the Quantum Harmony Network. In stations, ships, and planetary facilities, human musicians sat beside Alliance scientists, preparing to perform the most important concert in the history of existence. Sarah Chen stood in the Jupiter facility's central chamber, now transformed into something between a concert hall and a cosmic observatory. Through the quantum displays, she could see the tiers in space-time, their discordant energies threatening to unravel the fabric of reality itself. All stations report ready, Ambassador Zixtal announced, their crystalline form vibrating with nervous energy. The Alliance had never attempted anything like this, placing the fate of the galaxy in the hands of artists rather than scientists. But their own methods had failed, and the tiers were growing larger by the hour. Maya Patil sat at the central control interface, her modified piano connected to the master quantum field manipulators. Around her, other human musicians readied their instruments, each linked to a different aspect of the cosmic frequencies. The Alliance's massive computers hummed in the background, ready to amplify and coordinate their performance across interstellar distances. Remember, Sarah addressed the galaxy-wide network of performers. This isn't about perfect execution. It's about feeling the rhythm of reality and responding to it. Trust your instincts. Listen to each other. The universe wants to be in harmony. We just need to help it find its way back. The performance began with Maya playing a simple melody, one that matched the fundamental frequency they'd discovered in the signal. Across the galaxy, other musicians joined in, each adding their own interpretations of the cosmic theme. The Alliance's energy projectors translated their music into quantum field manipulations, reaching out to touch the tiers in space-time. At first, nothing seemed to change. The tiers continued their silent expansion, threatening to engulf entire star systems. But then, gradually, something extraordinary began to happen. The quantum discord started responding to the music, its chaotic patterns beginning to align with the improvisational harmony being created by thousands of human performers. Through the quantum displays, Sarah watched in amazement as the smaller tiers began to close, the fabric of space-time knitting itself back together in response to the cosmic symphony. The Alliance scientists monitored their instruments with increasing excitement as their readings showed reality itself beginning to stabilize. But the largest tear, a massive rift near the galactic core, proved more resistant. It pulsed with dangerous energy, threatening to trigger a chain reaction that could unravel the entire galaxy. Maya's hands moved across her keyboard with increasing intensity, trying to find the right combination of notes to reach the tear's core frequency. In that crucial moment, Sarah remembered something from the original signal, a pattern they hadn't fully understood until now. It's not just about the music, she realized aloud. It's about intention. The tiers aren't just discord in space-time, they're loneliness. The universe itself is seeking connection. She quickly addressed the network of performers. Don't just play the mathematics, she instructed. Play your hopes, your fears, your dreams. Let the universe feel the full range of human emotion and creativity. Let it know it's not alone. The music changed, becoming something more than just an attempt to fix reality. It became a story, humanity's story. Through their instruments, the performers poured out their species' entire history of artistic expression. Thousands of years of human creativity, emotion, and imagination flowed through the Alliance's technology and into the quantum fabric of space-time itself. The effect was immediate and extraordinary. The Great Tear began to pulse in rhythm with their music, its chaotic energies gradually transforming into harmonious frequencies. Around the galaxy, the remaining tiers followed suit, closing one by one as reality itself joined in humanity's grand symphony. When the last tear sealed itself, when the quantum displays showed space-time returning to stability, there was a moment of profound silence throughout the galaxy. Then, spontaneously, cheers erupted across thousands of worlds. Human musicians embraced alien scientists, all barriers of species and civilization forgotten in the joy of their shared triumph. In the aftermath, as the Alliance began dismantling the quantum harmony network, Sarah received a message from the Council. Humanity was being offered full membership in the galactic community, not because of their technology or scientific achievements, but because they had shown the galaxy something it had forgotten, that sometimes the greatest discoveries come not from calculation, but from creativity. The signal that had started it all finally faded away, its purpose fulfilled. But it had left the galaxy forever changed. The Alliance began incorporating music and artistic expression into their scientific education, recognizing that true understanding of the universe required both precision and creativity, both mathematics and art. And somewhere, in the vast cosmic symphony of space and time, Sarah liked to think that the ancient civilization that had sent the signal was listening to humanity's performance, nodding in approval at the species that had learned to dance with the music of reality itself.